with Paul Daner, Mark Shalafoo, from listener questions to some running gags. Insider stories, ambush life, that dad life, and respect for flags. Kick off the weekend, all right? It's the Growler Friday Show. It's Who Dey Light.
All right, welcome to the latest edition of Who Dey Light. Paul Daner Jr., Mark Shalafoo here with you, kicking off your weekend. How we doing, Mark?
I'm doing great. Do you have a new Pope flag that you're flying today?
Yeah. It's just, it's a flag, and then I have like, some smoke kind of comes out from behind it. I got a whole machine set up, like one of the smoke machines that comes out, and I was just sending out black each day until we had a new Pope, and then I just send out white and flip the flag. Of course, no. Mother's Day flag is up, Mark. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. You have a new Pope like every 20 years. Mother's Day happens every year. Who cares?
I should have had more anticipation and had the Pope flag ready. I agree. It's a blind spot for me that I'm going to work on, and I'll have our friends over at the flag store hook us up with a Pope flag, so I'm ready for the next time. And who knew we were going to get an American Pope? I feel like I really blew it.
Yeah, I don't. That could be a controversial Pope flag as you integrate parts of the American flag into that design for Pope Leo, and you really just Pope it up. Some people think it's sacrilege to, handle the American flag like that, but you need to be your own flag person. I think what's important is that Mother's Day flag goes up 12:01 Sunday. That's it, and then it comes down at honestly 2 p.m. Mother's Day is pretty much over. It's over. It's a morning event. It's not.
It's
really
a morning event. It's a wake up. It's a breakfast in bed or pancakes or whatever it is. There's some gifts in the morning, and then there's the be nice to mommy, and then you can only do that for so long until it's time to strap it back up, get back into real mom mode. Okay.
Yeah, you get around to about.
You're dependent on. You think we could survive for an entire day without you?
Yeah, mid-afternoon. That's when you start looking at the watch. Like, all right, is anyone going to do these breakfast dishes? Huh? Are we still doing Mother's Day over here? Come on, let's get this going.
Oh man, we have so Mother's Day is this weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all our mom listeners, and so it's great to have you on board. We'll talk more Mother's Day as we get going into the show. We got a lot of other stuff we got to get to here. We're gonna go down to our stories of the week. You guys have sent in tons of questions that we're gonna get to, and there's still lots of thoughts. Still lots of thoughts of what's going on, as you might imagine. It's this weekend is going to be rookie mini camp. And so we'll talk a little bit about the excitement of rookie mini camp. Let me tell you, there's a lot. It's just a lot. The hairs on the back of your neck, they start standing up, and you're just like, oh, nothing like rookie mini camp to really get you going. So with that, we're going to have the Growl Pal Spotlight, of course. Got a good one this week. And we got to cap off last week's Growl Pal Spotlight contest that we're going to pay off as we get into here. We've got a new thing, our favorite weird story of the week, and it's a good one. Very excited about our favorite weird story of the week. We'll have dad life and all that after we get through all your questions and everything. But first, we must talk about our great friends at BetMGM, Nation Kitchen and Bar down at the Banks. Of course, you know them. Great place to go anytime, but certainly before any Reds games. If you want to come to one of our live shows, really any event that's happening down there, make sure you head down there. But we're giving back to you. We've got even more. It's more than just good times and great deals and everything that you get down at Nation BetMGM. You guys know all about how we've teamed up with them. But if you haven't signed up for BetMGM, use the bonus code Growler, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. So you download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code Growler, deposit at least $10, and place your first wager on any game. So you'll receive that same bet amount up to $1,500 in a form of a bonus bet if your bet loses. So just make sure you use the bonus code Growler when you sign up. Jay had an idea for this the other day when we were talking about this. He's like, you get one bet, you get one shot. So if you're going to win, the biggest thing to remember is bet on the Rockies to lose. Because if you bet on the Rockies to lose, they're not going to win twice in a row. They are truly awful. There's no way that the Rockies are going to win back-to-back games. It's just not going to happen. And he's already texted me today, be like, since I talked about it the other day, it proved itself again. The Rockies have lost. They've gotten crushed again and again. This is the way you do it. So even if they win one, you get your bonus bet back. You do it a second time, and you can get all that bonus bet money and win. It's basically free money that you get just by following Jay's advice and using the Growler code on BetMGM.
Yeah, we're not posing as betting experts. We're just smart guys out here in the world, and Jay's just giving out winners. So, I mean, if you don't take it, that's on you at this point. Some people make huge proclamations out there about what's going to happen in sports, and you end up like Paul Pierce, who has to walk to work because he doubted the New York Knicks. We don't worry about that here because Jay's got some solid advice, and you just take that and you make your money. And you keep playing in BetMGM. It's a no-lose situation.
How far would you walk? Would you have walked? Like,
I mean,
would you have walked if you had done that? Would you have done it? Or would you just be like, look, you guys recognize I'm a fool up here. I'm an idiot.
You have to walk. Absolutely. You got to walk. And you know what? Respect to him for doing it. 8 hours or something. We need to get some walk bets going this summer. You know, so we're going to walk to camp. Yeah. We'll have to figure out some sort of wagers to do. Maybe we should take some advice from the Growl Pals about fun summer bets that we can do with each other. But right now we're only throwing out winning bets. So nobody would have to walk to camp.
You know what I won't be doing after talking to David Hale about it on Wednesday is spending 24 hours in a Buc-ee's because I lost a bet. I can tell you that much. Although all I want to do is hear the stories about the 24 hours in the Buc-ee's because I was just, if you watch it, I was just in tears laughing. Dave tell me stories about his 24 hours in the Buc-ee's was amazing. Go listen, go watch that episode. Just only the interview with Dave is up on the YouTube if you just want to watch that, or you can watch the whole episode or listen because it was hysterical.
I liked what he had to say about some of the Bengals new guy, like Carter.
Eric Carter, great. Yeah.
That was fun to hear that stuff. And the Buc-ee stuff was crazy too. Like it was I would think after 24 hours on Buc-ee's that you would just become like a manager at a Buc-ee's. They make probably more money than people in media make.
I think you're right.
When you like a starting salary there, according to the board, it's like $125,000 or something. So you think 24 hours in, you're like, I could probably do this. I get how this works. You know, maybe I'll throw on the mascot costume for a couple hours so you know all the different jobs and then just take it over.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. You just hang out long enough in an event. That's how they find their managers. It's just someone who's, I don't know, Steve's been here a lot. How are we going to fill this shift? I don't know. Just give him the beaver hat, put him behind the counter. Next thing you know, he's running it. You know, I just think that's how it works.
One person that's not on a road trip, whoever just stays the longest, then you just become part of the Buc-ee's family, and that's how it happens.
That's what it is. So a reminder, don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use the bonus code Growler. Get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Do that. Free money there from us. All right. Mark, favorite story of the week. What do you got?
Well, I think it's important this year now with rookie minicamp getting ready to start up. And, you know, the guys are back together. We got to start off with a proper vibes check because I mocked it last year and because the national media came into town and said the vibes were off. And I was like, there's no way that these guys can sniff out the vibes from Bristol and from New York and wherever they're reporting. And I made fun of it. And you know what? The vibes did seem a little bit off and they started slow again and it was never quite right. So I'm staying on top of it this offseason. I'm not going to let the vibes slip past me. How are the vibes right now on the team?
Geno Stone says the vibes are great. And this is from the guy who just took the pay cut. Okay. He thinks it's awesome. This is not a joke. I mean, he was legitimately like, it's so different. And of course, these are the things you say when you haven't given up 35, 39, 44 points in a game. Like the vibes change when you stink.
Yeah.
Now, but that said, he is talking about how it feels different. There does feel like there's more camaraderie. Of course, the talk about how last year they were in those stupid like auxiliary locker rooms that had everybody separate, but everybody's in here together. They're hanging out. It feels good. There's a lot of excitement. I do think like they're cognizant of the vibes and at least they're saying that things are good. I don't know. This time of year, it's hard to know, but I think they've got themselves in a pretty good place because there are no real distractions. There's outside of, trays of our lives. There's nothing else really going on. They've got everybody, most of their contracts are pretty settled. There's not like trouble on the horizon. We can debate some of their positions and stuff like that, but I think they're very focused on having a fast start. Like, that's important that everybody is on board with. That has to be a part of this. That does change a little bit, I think, of the urgency that the team starts the season with, and that's kind of usually where a lot of good vibes can come.
What's your favorite story this week?
The kids are here. Rookie mini camp. I joke. I mean, it's cool for the players when they get to come into their NFL locker room for the first time and see their locker. I think the Bengals had their video. They had a video up of Barrett Carter, like taking the video of his locker from every angle, and like you can see it is cool for them to be like, okay, I'm in the NFL. I think it's one of the first moments you get it is when you go out and you have your first practice and there's the locker with your name on it, and you pull up to the stadium, and they might feel like, wow, this is kind of unfortunate because there's all kinds of construction happening outside the locker room now. There actually were the players were going out to practice the other day. Of course, the Bengals love to get heat about the fact they have to walk across the street to get to their practice fields. It's of course, it's always fun to hear. Well, not only that, but there was massive construction project happening on the crosswalk, like 7 dudes staring down, watching one guy dig the hole deeper in the middle of the crosswalk because they go in after some pipes or something like that, and everyone having to like walk out around it while all the smoke comes up in the air past the professional football players. And I'm like, the rookies are going to be like, can I tell you a little bit about what's going on in Alabama's facilities? Because this is a little different. So maybe they'll feel like it's a step down, but it's only because they are doing renovations in there right now is a big part of why it's a mess. But it's still fun. It's still a good time. And so I was kind of going through trying to figure out who I wanted to write my story about from Rookie Minicamp. And I think I've settled on Eric Gregory, the defensive tackle from Arkansas. One, I think that he's got the best chance to make the team because they need defensive tackles. He played 6 years at Arkansas. Okay. He's one of these 6. Yeah. He enrolled in 2019. Okay. Pre-pandemic college enrollee.
Wow.
All right. He is going to turn 25. He's much like Demetrius Knight in that regard, in that he's an older player, but he played in 61 college games.
That's insane. 61 games.
61 games, 61 college games, and kind of came on in the last couple of years. But it's just amazing that, when you throw in the NIL and the COVID years and the pandemic season and everything else, you end up with some of these guys. I mean, he's been through a lot of life. Like a lot has happened to this dude, and he's kind of been with it. He's a solid dude. He was in college for 6 seasons. He stayed there. He was an academic honor roll guy. He graduated, got a degree. He's like, he's got a daughter. He's like a family man. It's just like, this is not your normal rookie story that you get. He's kind of a dude that's coming in a little more polished, trying to help out. And I just think he's kind of a good example of the new, the new type of player that you can get in the college, coming out of the college landscape. So he's kind of a fun story.
So he started coming on his last 2 years. You should hope so. If you've played 6 years of college football, you should hope by the end, when you're going against guys that were in like junior high when you started your college football career, you would hope that you can at least take advantage of those dudes a little bit. Also, if you're in college for 6 years, how come he doesn't have like a master's degree at this point too? He should have all the degrees after 6 years.
Yeah, I feel like, or he did like what I did my last quarter at OU, is where I just stuffed my entire schedule with nothing but BS classes. I had a basketball class, I had a bowling class, I took water skiing 3 because it was the 3rd year I'd done it. Literally anything you could think of that sounded like the biggest throwaway time. I loaded my entire. I only needed like 4 credits, but I had to have like 8 to be a full-time student so I could live up one last spring quarter at OU. And so I had the most ridiculous. It was actually busy because to get the 1 credit for basketball, it's not 1 hour. You got to do 2 hours of basketball in that week. And I was doing that with almost all my classes. I was exhausted and in great shape, by the way. I mean, I had every sport you could imagine I was playing. And so, but I feel like that's what I would like to know that that's what he did. Like the last couple of years, he truly exhausted every ridiculous class that is available at the Fayetteville campus in Arkansas, and just was like, I'm all in. He's deep into it. He's in like the history of movies 9, and he's just, there's nothing he hasn't done yet.
Video games 401. I mean, what you described kind of just sounds like an expensive summer camp. Like you just spent all that money for college and you're like, we're water skiing, we're playing basketball, we're in water balloon toss, like it's just
part like of the degree, man. That's all part of the experience. Okay. I learned more about life in that last quarter than anything.
Well, then this dude should know a lot about life after 6 years.
I hope so. I look forward to talking to him. We're recording this on Thursday night because minicamp is early on Monday morning. So for those of you listening to this now, I look forward to talking to Gregory tomorrow, and look out for that story coming early next week.
Now we need to start fast. So how important is this rookie minicamp to starting this season fast? Since we're going to have like probably 4 starters out of this draft class, it's a lot of pressure here, right?
No. No, they're the only thing. They're pretty sure the only team only taking 1 day for rookie minicamp, and they're basically just on the field for a little bit and then off the field. It's more of a get acclimated situation, get them out there. This is what the helmet feels like. This is the pads. This is the practice field. This is where it is. Here's how we stretch. These are your coaches. It's just get everybody understanding, like, this is where we go, what we do. And then a lot of, the meetings and going through the stuff they need to know about being an NFL player and all of that stuff. They focus far more on that than they do any sort of, because I always love, you get the inevitable questions. How'd they look, right? How did Barrett Carter look? It's like, he looked like a player who was told to go learn how to stretch for an hour is basically what he looked like. I mean, there's no
up the stretches.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't like the workout where you learn stuff. They barely even take OTAs with any level of seriousness, much less rookie minicamp. So that kind of is part of this.
That's exciting. Big stuff.
Let's get into some questions. The Growl Gals had a question. So because we didn't use their question on Wednesday, so we wanted to make sure they got it in. And we spent the whole time on Wednesday talking about their Mother's Day deal, which, by the way, like, if you heard us talking about Mother's Day earlier and we're like, oh my God, is that Sunday? Have not done anything yet. They have the answer for you. They came up with the package for the perfect Mother's Day gift that keeps on giving. It's called the Mother's Day Momentum Maker. You get 2 classes per week for 5 weeks. Plus you get an initial and a follow-up appointment with registered dietitian Maggie Huey of Pep Talk Nutrition with a before and after body composition scan, so you can kind of see the real results of your new routine. Plus you get a 30-minute massage that you were probably going to just gift the massage gift card anyway, right? Plus you get that. It's actually an $840 value they're giving away for just the price of what is a normal 10-class package, which is $349. So they're giving this deal away. You can give it now. Do the Mother's Day Momentum Maker. Be the good, sentimental, strong, caring husband, son that you always wanted to be, and give this gift for Mother's Day to the mothers in your life. Email marymont@bar3.com and get it set up. Just know that. But their question for us this week.
Can I say something before you jump to the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Don't do this for the woman in your life, the mom in your life. You're doing this also for yourself. That's important. Yeah. And you did ask the Growl Gals about, because I had the question, how do you give exercise classes to a significant other without it coming off poorly? They do a very good job of framing that, of like, no, you're giving your significant other time. You're giving them, that opportunity to go invest in themselves and get away from the kids in the house and really kind of go with a friend, whatever. So you're not just giving this to them. You're also earning in the same process 5 weeks of you being able to say, like, well, I'm going to go golfing with the boys on Friday. Don't forget, you've got those 2 classes that I've been sending you to, and how much fun that is down there. So you get 5 weeks of cover too, to go play golf or, go out with the fellas, whatever you do to unwind. So that's just as critical a piece in this. Whereas if you do the one gift card, the one massage gift card, like that's over in an hour. You didn't buy yourself enough runway to go.
You can't even get around a golf out of that.
No.
Think about it. You're going to have the entire Knicks run to the finals where every game you're going to need to go get out and get away and go to the bar with the boys to go watch the magical run to the championship that's underway right now. And so you're going to need all of those classes to offset all of this.
Yeah, so that's the real play. So what was their question? What did they want to ask on the show they didn't get to?
They wanted to know what we think about Burrow's presence at the Met Gala and not being at practice. He's hanging out. He's got this famous life, and he's got these models that are around him. He's gone Hollywood, right? Is kind of the thing about Joe right now. How much that matters? What do we think about Hollywood Joe or Broadway Joe or Gala Joe? I'm not sure. There's a number of different ways you can call him Joe at this point.
Not a good look in my book, I think. And if you're reviewing it, it was just not a very exciting suit. He did the backless suit last year. Step it up. It's the Met Gala. Throw on something crazy. Maybe work some stripes into the look. That'd be fun, and rep your team, or at least go with the backless suit again, because that would be like a fun trend that you're carrying on for another year. I thought it was a little bit of a lackluster Met Gala performance from him. Now, do I have any problem with him being there? No, who cares? He can do whatever he wants at this point of the season. He has earned that. Now, there are guys that haven't earned that. So if you show up at a slot machine without having earned that, people are going to take pictures of that and make fun of you on social media. Joe Burrow can do whatever he wants. But I would have liked to see him step it up a little bit at the Met Gala.
Yeah, I have zero problem. Mo had a good take on this on his show this week. And he was saying that, look, didn't everybody compare Burrow to Brady? Wasn't that like the thing? He's like, he's the next. He got so much Brady in him. You know what? What was Brady off the field once he started becoming a great quarterback and winning? Models. Gisele Bundchen, he's a kid with a celebrity actress. Like it's like he's just following in Brady's footsteps essentially. And I think you'll take it. And it's okay. Have whatever outside life you want. There's one thing I don't doubt is that when that dude comes back, he really wants to win tilts.
Yes.
And that's not going to change. And he had plenty of distractions going on outside last year. And I look forward to having to watch all that in quarterback. But he had plenty of that going on last year and was playing like an MVP. So bring on the distractions if that's what you want. As a Bengals fan, aren't you sitting there saying, yes, it's fine. This dude is not going to let that get in the way of who he is as a player. He's just discovering his life off the field. And
enjoy that. Yeah, enjoy the rewards that come with being an elite
I don't love it.
athlete.
I don't love the idea. I don't love it for everybody. I think he can handle. I don't love the idea of Hollywood Joe, but it's not going to change. It doesn't make me think 1 second different about who he's going to be as a player in the fall.
If you're going to choose your own adventure for what you want an offseason to look like for a quarterback, like there's going to be a lot of different paths you could take. You could go the Deshaun Watson path. Nobody wants that. And you become a laughingstock for years. You could be the Aaron Rodgers who's showing up on podcasts, debating vaccines and going on ayahuasca trips and stuff like that. Like, is that what you want from your quarterback? I'll take Met Gala Joe Burrow over any of those other situations, because the guy's about ball when it matters. So I think he's earned that.
Just no, please, no arguing vaccines on Pat McAfee. Just if that happens, we know that's
the red line. Go to as many galas as you want.
Yeah.
No vaccine talk on podcasts. That's where we draw the line.
that's where we draw the line. All right. Do we got some questions from the Growl Pals this week?
All right, we're going to go, we'll kick it off with Jerry. He says he appreciates the outstanding episodes every week. He even loves the dad life stories, always the best, have him laughing out loud. But he needs your help. He needs our help here because he can't come to terms with the fact that the Bengals believe their best course of action in protecting the best quarterback in franchise history is with a rookie at left guard and below average options at right guard that have little experience at the right guard position recently. Rookie guards have historically struggled in their first year, and there are many starting quality guards out there like Sheriff, Hernandez, Resner, whatever, Mason. that are better options on this team. Please help me to understand why another veteran starting caliber guard hasn't been signed to protect their often injured franchise quarterback. What about these vet options don't they like? The current options at right guard are donkeys, and this 100% goes against the trusted no donkeys strategy. It's a little bit harsh, Jerry, but why haven't they signed another guard?
They don't particularly believe that they have a guard problem. And now that's frustrating, I think, for fans that differ. I'm sure Jerry's like, yeah, I don't agree with that. But that's partially the big thing, is that's how they feel. Is that I think they kind of feel like they like some of the players that they have. They like Lucas Patrick. Okay. They feel like Lucas Patrick was the best option out of a lot of those names that you mentioned. I'm not necessarily in agreement, but all those guys are out there for a reason still. I mean, if they didn't have problems with them in some capacity, then they would already be on a team. So there's a reason that they are still available. That said, I'm not saying one way or the other whether I think I think Sheriff is a better option than any of them. Whatever's happening there is going to play itself out. I don't know. I don't expect him to come in here. If you're asking me what's going on, I think they think that Lucas Patrick and maybe Cordell Volson and Cody Ford and Dylan Fairchild are more than enough to have two good answers come out of the guard position. I think that's the way they feel about it. They don't feel like they need to add another person to what's already a pretty royal rumble, if you will. And so I think that's kind of, if you're wanting to know why, that's why.
Yeah, and I get the other side of this, though, where it's like, hey, there are some options. Like you said, all of them are out there for a reason. Any decent guard in free agency was way overpaid this cycle. So you weren't going to get somebody that was going to be like an all-pro that you're just going to plug in. But I do get the appeal of like, all right, let's throw Sheriff into the mix and just see where we land. We've got these two guys we drafted. We know that they're both going to be in the mix in years to come. Do we know about, is Cody Ford really going to make this leap? Is Lucas Patrick going to be good enough? We don't know what we're doing with Volson. Yeah, maybe throw one more vet into the mix and the best guys come out at the end of it. But it also doesn't feel as criminal as Jerry here is making it seem like it's such a grievance at this point and such a malpractice that they didn't, sign one of these kind of guys at the end of their careers or pretty much the scrap heap of what's left at guard. I mean, it's not that criminal.
I don't know that there's a huge difference for me between a lot of what they have and Hernandez, Risner, Mason. Sheriff is different to me. Like that's a different story. If he's healthy and wanting to play and they can agree on the money, like to me, I don't count him in that mix. I think they feel like they have a bunch of guys that are kind of like those guys I just mentioned. Sheriff to me is different, and that's where I would go. Like, I mean, if it were me and I was trying to fix this, that's what I would bring him in and tell him you're going to start and everybody else can be a part of the battle. But I don't know that that's where they're going to go.
So if Sheriff wants to play at this point, do you just go back to Geno Stone and say, actually, we're going to take a few more million from you just to
another 1.6 off the top. Sorry,
yeah, we got some trade money.
Kind of who we take it from because we don't really want to support you.
Could you spare another $500K? We're just trying to work this guard situation.
Anytime they're short a little bit, like it's like they show up, be like, we were supposed to tip the valet and we forgot to bring our cash. Can you take it out of Geno and just kind of just instantly send it over and just go to the ATM for that? He's like just a walking ATM for them.
Yeah, the club's going to commit to some stadium renovations. Geno, can you kick in $25K to this? I mean, we're just really need to get it over the top here. We want to get some new TVs, help the county out a little bit. If you could just kick in a little bit of that cash to help refurbish the stadium, I do think they're going to keep going to that well.
TV sale. We need TV sale back in our life, Mark. We need it. They got to come back again this year. It was my favorite story of the entire year last year. And I need it again. I need it again.
But you know what? We're in such a better place this year as a podcast that like we could really tackle this TV sale with gusto if they do it again.
I will go do a live show. How about this? I'll do a live show from the line. I'll do a live show from the TV line. This is like my Paul Pierce walk to work moment.
Right.
Okay.
And if you don't do the show, then you're going to have to walk to the next TV sale.
Yeah. Yeah. I will go do a show from the line if they do it again, because I'll be so excited about it.
Next question we got here. This is Paul and Mark. First off, love the show. Anxiously look forward to it throughout the week. Here's this question. Everyone focuses on how terrible the Bengals defense was last year, rightfully so, but they tend to forget that we lost more than one game because of missed field goals by Evan McPherson. Are there any updates on Evan's status / recovery? We haven't really heard anything from him or about him since the injury. That is from Eric. So what do you think about Money Mac? How's he doing?
Evan was in the locker room this week. He, we talked to him a little bit. He's doing good. He's working on his like fitness levels and how he's training a little bit to try to improve that, to avoid some of the injury stuff that has kind of dogged him. So he's training. He calls them like those little muscles you don't think about, which that's how I train. I just focus on the little muscles that you don't even know exist, because
I don't think about any of my muscles. That's my problem. Yeah. It's just not thinking
about
the little ones, not thinking about the big ones.
Yeah, not thinking about any of them. He's like lengthening his warm up. And so rather than just stretching and kicking or whatever that routine was, he's kind of added like another 30 to 60 minutes in there and turned to in between to try to have a more ramp up and focus on the little muscles and to improve some of that to maybe keep him healthier. So he's understanding that his health issues in the past are something he needs to focus on and make sure he has right. And it seems to be making a conscious effort to get that right, and more work with the operation of, assuming it still is Cal, Adamitis, and another year with Ryan Rico holding, hopefully can get him back to where he wants to be. At least that's where he thinks he will be, and being on the field is going to be a part of that too, with some of the extra, the different type of work that he says he's putting in this offseason.
I mean, the injury stuff, that I get that. I see how you can change your routines and stuff to get better in that department. But in terms of the missed kicks, especially the clutch ones, how much of that do you really put on him versus the operation? Because he's too much of a class guy to really throw Rico under the bus or Cal under the bus. I don't know enough about special teams to really diagnose that, other than like, he used to make big kicks. Now he doesn't make big kicks. What's going on here? Who do I blame? Like, how much do you assess that of being the operation?
Partially. I mean, I think it's the impetus of it, but like the good kickers have to be able to put that out of their mind. The good kickers have to just trust that the ball's going to be where it's supposed to be and not let it get into your head. So there's part of it's like, yeah, maybe the operation wasn't perfect all year, but that doesn't mean when it is right that you've got to flush it. You know what I mean? You've got to swing like it's going to be right every time. You can't be hesitant or have it be in your head even a little bit, because that's what causes the problem. So it's like everybody's inevitably at fault. He's at fault for any kick that is placed down correctly. And he missed plenty of kicks last year that were placed down correctly. So blame the operation if you want to. And that was the problem in more than a couple of his misses. But, the ability to sort of push through that and not let it affect other kicks is going to be a big part of where he goes.
Next question. Hey guys, there's been a lot of discussion about the defense this offseason. What about the offense? What can we expect to change about the offense this season? What worked well last year that they would want to continue and improve on? And what are the areas for change and growth? That is from our guy, Mike in Loveland.
So, one, I think the continuity gives you a chance for growth. Like, they really can build on stuff. Continuity in players. Gesicki, the guys they brought back there, Chase Brown now being fully entrenched as the guy, people they really know how to use. Burrow's fully healthy right now. Everybody knocks on wood with that one. And then I think that you're in a better place with the offensive line, despite the fact, I mean, you have Mims entering year 2, which is huge. Your problems are at guard and not worried about, is Trent Brown ever going to show up, and are people going to be so put off by his tattoos that they don't even want him to be around the team anymore? Like, it's just that I think the problems on the line are less. And then Dan Pitcher's in his second year as well as offensive coordinator, and he started to really build on some stuff during the year. I think to the shot play packages that they put in, where they were pulling guards, pulling tight ends, using that across the package to find ways to buy more time and move the launch point a little bit. You saw tons of big gains made, big shot plays taken on that strategy last year. And I can see them really leaning into that and trying to grow that and be even more explosive this year by utilizing that to a higher degree. And then I just think having Chase Brown as a weapon that you have all year from the very beginning and know exactly what he is, I think number one offense in the NFL is on the table. And you can't say that for a lot of teams. You could probably say that for about 7 or 8 teams in the league right now, that they could be the number one offense in football. And the Bengals are unquestionably one of those.
Mike G is a need. And, you throw that guy in the mix too, like this offense.
They figured out how to use him. It took them half a year to really figure out how to use Mike G. It took them half a year to finally figure out Chase Brown. It took them time to get all that stuff going. And now they show up with it on day one, and the continuity of that goes a long way.
God, the offense is going to be fun to watch. Next question. What is the percentage of a chance that Mike Hilton could be back with the team as like a backup corner / safety?
Percentage 1%. I mean, he's out there. So I guess if injuries happened, if you had multiple injuries and Hilton was out there and you could bring back somebody who everybody knows and is comfortable with, that could be on the table, but he's not in the plan. He's not. And so it would have to be something would have to change dramatically in Mike Hilton still be out there. For Mike's sake, I hope he lands with another team soon.
Are you surprised he hasn't?
To worry about that. A little. I think he proved he could still play. The problem is it's the same thing that we talked about is he just can't cover as well anymore. And he's a cornerback. Okay. It's
it's important.
He needs to be able to cover. And everything else he does goes a long way to making up for that deficiency in his game right now. But that hurts you when you're trying to find a spot with another team. But I wouldn't be surprised to see, him land somewhere and become a productive player. He's certainly got some time left in him, but I'm a little surprised, but we'll see how that plays out.
Next question is from Tyler. He's a Gamecocks guy, and he's got a back surgery coming up. Well, sorry about that, Tyler. That kind of sucks. So hopefully, that all goes well, but he says he's going to need lots of good listening. His question is, what's the realistic expectation for the Bengals this season? I think we all expect them to compete for the Super Bowl, but is that really realistic given how the last few years have gone? How do you feel about that? Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Like
they got Joe Burrow. They got the number one offensive football. I just said that.
They were so close in so many of those games
last year. It doesn't matter. It just, if you could have the number one offense in football, you have a chance to win the Super Bowl. You are on the short list, man. Those are the teams that win. Teams that win, defense wins championships is primarily BS. Yes, it does. Offense gets you there. Maybe defense will win it once you get there. But offense is what's going to get you there. And they can have a great one. And Al Golden could figure it out to get the thing to average. If you have the number one offense and the number 16 defense, I'd like their chances to win the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
That's the makeup of a team that can win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
That has won the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. You'd love to have a top 10 defense, and who knows? But to me, when I think about what Super Bowl contenders look like, they're teams with great elite offenses and pretty good defense at the very least.
We're going to talk more about expectations probably when we do the schedule release show for the Who Day Nights next week. We're doing that Wednesday, right?
Yeah, Wednesday night after
Live
the
show.
schedule release. Yeah, 9 o'clock.
We'll probably get more into it then. But I'll pick them to win 13 games. I'm totally drinking the Kool-Aid about this offense and how good they're going to be.
Kool-Aid season.
Al Golden can fix everything. He's going to make Geno Stone into Jesse Bates. So I think he can do that. And, I think the expectation should at least, like you said, be in contention for that. You ready to do an ambush lights?
No, Al Golden is basically the Kool-Aid man running through the brick wall, right? That's kind of who he is. That's what everyone's believing in it. Drinking the golden Kool-Aid.
He's going to fix everything. Let him have a stab at stadium renovations. He probably could scheme up some stuff to save the county some money, save the team some money. The guy can do it all.
It's probably a good thing they didn't make Kool-Aid that was actually golden, because probably people wouldn't think it's Kool-Aid at all.
No, they would think it's lemonade, right? What are you thinking? What are you insinuating? Huh? A yellow
Lemonade.
drink? It's so
They
nefarious.
think it's lemonade. That's right. You're exactly right. Ambush light time. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I got an ambush for you this week.
Sweet.
Which I'm very excited about. Starts yo. I'll make this short and sweet. I have been attracted to stand-up since my freshman year in college, too long ago. I've written jokes, done bits with my friends, take any opportunity to do karaoke, publicly humiliate myself. I like this guy, my kind of guy. We'd have fun together. But I've never had the opportunity to even do a tight five at an open mic night. Though I think I'd be comfortable up there. There's something different about the thought of stand-up versus being in a play, you know? So what do you recommend a 33-year-old dude who's desperately trying to cling on to his youthful endeavors?
Well, if he's thinking about trying to do an open mic, I'm going to start by saying that was neither short nor sweet. So maybe work on that as your starting point. You want your punchlines to be nice and tight, Eric. You can't just throw it on so elaborate there. But I will say, like, the most important thing, and I get this question a lot in stand-up, right? You hear from people that are always thinking about doing it. They're like, oh, my neighbor wanted to try an open mic, and he's the funny guy in the office, whatever. Two things. First, it's way harder to be funny for strangers than it is to be the silly, wacky guy in the office, or I was the class clown. I made my friends laugh. So don't go up there with that confidence, you know, at least write some jokes with punchlines if you're going to do this open mic. The second thing that I tell people is go to an open mic before you actually try. Because most people that think that they want to try it, it's, you know, they want to do stand-up. It looks so intimidating, though, because every show they go to is professional comedians who've done it for 15 years, delivering, you know, punchlines that have been worked out in 30 cities. So, like, you're seeing a polished product at a lot of comedy clubs. Go to the open mic night and see how bad some of it is, how truly awful it is, because that'll give you the confidence to try it. When you're like, oh, this guy stinks. I can be that bad.
I could do that. Yeah.
Right. That's what you need to do.
What about Joke Gym? Should they come to Joke Gym?
Yeah, Joke Gym's going to get fired back up this summer. I think we were on hiatus the last couple months because of touring schedules. But yeah, that could be a spot. I don't know necessarily. I think I might just try the Go Bananas Pro-Am. Like, that would be my first spot. It's a very safe environment. It's a bringer show, so you would like have some friends come out to support you. That way you're just not facing a total audience of strangers that are not going to laugh at your stuff. You get a few friendly faces out there. That's kind of the way to do it with the training wheels. But I would encourage you to do it, because there are a lot of people that had that thought of like, I want to do it. I always thought about it. And you're 33 now. Like, you'll still have that thought when you're 43 if you keep dawdling on. At least try the open mics. You can say you actually did it.
Yeah, I like that. Great advice. Great advice.
Part two here. He's got another side of this question. He had an ambush question. Ready? So what is your favorite Goblin-mode food? Goblin-mode, when you're violently stoned or drunk and your inner goblin starts gobbling up anything in the pantry that sounds good. His is a tortilla-wrapped string cheese sticks, microwaved with chipotle sauce. Sounds disgusting.
Wow. I used to be a pizza rolls guy. That was always the like fire up the pizza rolls, but then that used to be like dangerous. I had my old roommate loved firing up pizza rolls and was renowned for leaving the oven on, which
that's
is
not something you want to be renowned for. Nope.
Yeah. It's not. So that was kind of so it kind of turned me off into that. I'm like, I'll fire up the pizza. Like, I'll fire up the, like, you know, to open up the box, just put it in and let it roll and just hammer a pizza. I would say that would probably be my Goblin mode.
How much are you getting violently stoned or drunk in your everyday life?
I'm not. I didn't ask this
right?
question.
Yeah.
I didn't ask violently. That seems aggressive. Like,
even like bad. Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that. But if you're asking me about Goblin mode when I'm hungry because I've been out drinking or whatever, like, you know, I go pizza. What do you go?
All right, so I have just started this recently, but I've gone to Frosted Mini Wheats late at night. Yeah, I'll hit some cereal because my kids don't eat cereal. So, like, we don't usually have it in the house, but I had to do one of the shopping trips. I was like, you know what? Everything's going into this cart. So we got some French bread pizzas. We got some cereal and stuff. So now I've been hitting that later at night. And you know what? It's not a bad late night snack. So I'm on board with the frosted mini wheats at this point. I don't know. It doesn't feel quite as bad for you as some of the stuff that's just like, the Captain Crunch or that kind of stuff. But it definitely also sounds much better than a tortilla wrapped string cheese stick with chipotle sauce.
Yeah. I talked about this during, I think it was our Easter show, but we've had the bags of the Starburst jelly beans laying around, and that has been a problem.
Oh yeah, you can't do too many of those.
Once you start,
you can't.
And then inevitably you're laying in bed when you actually try to go to bed, you can't go to sleep. And your stomach is like, that was a mistake. Why did you know not to do that? Like your stomach actually comes out and talks to you and just has a conversation. Just says, why do you do this to me? You know better than this. You are 44 years old.
That's the problem. And that's what's really sad is like when you're young and when you're in your 20s, like the next morning, you're really regretting all the drinking that you did. Then you get to like your late 30s or your 40s and you have those same feelings about a quesadilla you ate after 11 p.m. You're like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have done that. That was my big mistake. Because it's just, you can't eat the same. You can't hang like you can.
You can't.
Growl Pal Spotlight. What do you got?
Let's Growl Pal Spotlighted here, huh? Well, I got a good one. This one's close to home for me. For us as the Growl Pal family here. You guys know Jeff Hobson, Bengals.com, good friend of the show, has been on many times. He is having a charity golf outing on May 30th called the Jack. The Jack is for the Jack Hobson Memorial Golf Classic for his grandson, who unfortunately passed away 29 days old. But this is a benefit for the Children's Heart Foundation so that other parents and families hopefully won't have to go through the same thing that they went through. But it's a charity golf outing. It's at May 30th. It's at Legendary Run. It's a shotgun start. Go to the QR code down here. If you're watching on YouTube, I have the link to that on there, or just search in Google for the Jack Hobson Memorial Golf Classic. You can just donate, or you can register. I'm going to be there. I'm playing. My dad's playing on my team. We're still throwing that team together. There's going to be Bengals people there. I know that for a fact. Everybody gets a Anthony Munoz autographed photo. There's a meal. There's all kinds of stuff involved in it. So go there. You can learn all about that there, but it's going to be fun. There's going to be a bunch of Bengals and Bengals tangential people there. A great cause. And so Butchie's working really hard putting that together. So great cause to go support and come out and play some golf and hang with me.
Yeah. You can hit Paul with ambush questions in real life.
Yeah, that's it.
Like a live episode.
And maybe I'll be, violently drunk or stoned, apparently.
Yeah, they can see what kind of goblin food you're doing on that golf course. What did you want to announce a winner from last week's contest?
Yes.
All right, good. So we had Danny's Mobile Detailing was our spotlight last week, and it was a Growl Pal starting up a new car detailing business. He was going to give away a detailing to a Growl Pal, and we have a winner. They had to send in a picture of their most embarrassing thing in their car. Who ended up winning this?
So let's see here. Brian Kaiser was our winner of most embarrassing thing in your car, getting your car detailed from our friend at Danny's Mobile Detailing. And so here's what he sent it. I'm going to bring it for our YouTube people. You can see it. It was a Pure Moods CD from the Howard County Library. Mark, I'm not going to lie. I don't know a ton about Pure Moods, but I can guess what it sounds like. It's the Howard County Library sticker for me that I got to know what the hell's going on here and the backstory behind this.
Yeah, I didn't get I know it's a reference to something that older people might have an affinity for. I missed out on the whole Pure Moods thing. I don't get the reference, but the thing, like I honed into the same thing that you did with the Howard County Library sticker on it. Like, what are you doing with a CD in your car, period? At this point, like everybody's kind of phased those out. Having a CD could have won this, let alone one that you have stolen from the library. Like
in the case with a library sticker on the front, he says, as for the most embarrassing thing in my car, outside of having numerous CDs in general, which is including many burned party mix CDs. Now that I respect. Those things you can't replicate. Those? You burned those. You put your time, effort, and energy into burning those CDs. I respect having you have the pack where you open it up and you've got Summer Jams 2002 that has it has country grammar on it. It's got all the hits that you were just crushing back in the day. It's got Diddy before the bad stuff. You're all good. You're just hammering that CD. So I'm okay with that part. And then he says he has many of his party mixes from his time. He's OU 01 05. So, all right. Strong.
Okay.
The single most embarrassing one would be a Pure Mood CD. Being around my age, I'm assuming you recall the commercials in the 90s. I just think that you shouldn't steal from libraries and then hold on to it for a generation. Where's Howard County?
Yeah, that's a great question. I do think you should steal from the library. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying steal something better than a hard case CD, which is what he ended up going with. It just feels like you're a little bit down on your luck if you're having to steal a CD from a library and be like, all right, this is my car listening now. I've got this on lockdown. I'm living a good life, but at least your car is going to look better now, thanks to Danny's Mobile Detailing. So, Brian, send me an email. Again, reply to what you sent before, and we'll get you hooked up with Danny, and we hope that you guys take care of each other. Yeah, we hope that Danny's legit. We didn't really vet him or anything. He could be a serial killer. We don't know for sure.
No, sure.
I think he's an upstanding guy because I assume the best of all Growl Pals, but we don't know. We could have some demons out there listening to this show. Probably not smart enough to have their own small business.
No. I think you're in great hands.
Let's get to our weird story of the week, right?
Weird story of the week. I'm excited about this. So I love local news and especially dumb local news and then dumb, weird local news. And this is kind of the perfect combination of all of that. This was from the Akron Beacon Journal this week story. And it begins. A 55-year-old Akron woman was arrested May 5th and charged with multiple drug offenses after a raccoon was discovered in her vehicle holding a meth pipe in its mouth. Springfield Township Police posted on Facebook. Officers initially conducted a traffic stop at about 7:15 p.m. after identifying a vehicle whose owner had both an active warrant and a suspended driver's license. After officers detained the driver, police then discovered a raccoon named Chewy sitting in the driver's seat with a meth pipe in its mouth. Officers further inspected the vehicle after that discovery and ended up finding a, quote, bulk amount of meth, crack cocaine, and 3 used glass meth pipes. The woman was charged with many things. The raccoon was reportedly unharmed, and authorities were notified to determine whether the woman had the proper documentation to own the raccoon. Where do you get raccoon documentation, by the way? I'm not sure where you get that.
Sounds like something you made up. Here's my raccoon ID.
I gotta say, the photo of the raccoon ripping the meth pipe that is associated with this is just fantastic. So Chewy
is an odd one. I feel like you should have just read this in reverse. Told me all the details of this story, the facts, not revealing where it was from. I would have guessed Akron. I would have honed in on Akron right away. Pet raccoon doing meth at a traffic stop. Yeah, that's going to be an Akron move for sure. But I also don't get is that this is an easy defense, right? If you're her defense attorney, you can be Your Honor, clearly it's the raccoon's drugs. He's using them. It's not my clients.
I wanted to find out there's actually lots of people. There's a whole community of people that have pet raccoons. I didn't know you could have it as a pet. I thought you just tried to get it to not eat your trash. And then the fact that it actually is Have you had the crack? Have you had the crack? I'm gonna go tell my friends. And next thing you know, there's just a whole community of them. I like.
We need a raccoon
like
king, like kind of like the Tiger King series. We need a raccoon king where they just kind of go into that world and like all these people that are doing drugs with raccoons. Maybe they're a good hang. They love trash food. People on drugs love trash food. Like maybe it all works. Maybe it comes. I'm not really giving them the benefit of the doubt, but maybe that's a good partnership for people to have.
Clearly, it worked for Chewy. So
it did until it didn't. Now he's a national disgrace.
She was like, wait, this stuff's illegal? I didn't know. I'm but a raccoon. This isn't my fault.
The pride and joy of Akron. Chewy the raccoon is just the fall from grace. It is so quick, so violent. But,
all right. Well, I expect a full segment of Chewy jokes in your act next time I see you out. Where are you at next, by the way?
Thankfully, I was in Lexington last weekend. Thank you for everyone that came out to that. And I'm off this weekend. So I've got a nice blissful couple weeks now off of the road. So use this time to go catch up and watch all the stuff I've got out there currently. If you missed the Nate Land set, go watch that. And my dry bar special is on YouTube. They put it out for free on YouTube, so you can watch that. I think we're up to like 175,000 views, so it's a good turnout for that. So if you haven't seen either of those, go catch up on that stuff.
Love it. What do you got for dad life?
Mother's Day is Sunday. We talked about that with the Growl Gals, and mine, it's just a problem for me because our oldest or our youngest is the last one in preschool, right? She's 5, last year of preschool, and the Mother's Day gift is like the capstone project of preschool. You know, they spend all year fine-tuning their arts and crafts, and they spend like the last 6 weeks of the school year working on this great gift for mom, and then it becomes this elaborate thing. They had like a Mother's Day party in the school, and they got, here's the end of the year school book with all of her drawings and stuff, here's the gift and the other thing she made. Father's Day is just an afterthought because it's in the middle of summer. The kids don't care anymore. There's no teacher that's guiding them through the process for 6 weeks. It's a ripoff. Moms have it too easy. That's my Mother's Day message when it comes to having preschool age children. You have
2 primary messages that I can tell so far about Mother's Day. 1, it should end around 2:00.
Yes.
And 2, it's that really dads are really the victims here.
Yes. And maybe a third, if you go with like the Growl Gals and, you know, get your wife some bar classes, you should take the equivalent amount of time for yourself, if not more. I think there's a translation like it. I think you get a little bit more time maybe on the golf course. So give yourself that. So I think that's the third belief that I have about Mother's Day, that if you get 5 weeks of classes, that's 5 weeks of golf and everybody comes out happy for it.
Yeah. I mean, I hope your wife isn't listening. She probably already knows all of this all too well.
She's probably checked out after the raccoon on drugs. Like she's like, I got to go learn more about this meth raccoon in Akron. And
you're right.
She's jumped into that. What's going on in your world?
We had the sleepover. We had the sleepover.
Oh, yeah, the birthday sleepover. How'd that go?
The first birthday sleepover. It went pretty well. The kids were certainly up late. I only had to do one like stern dad moment. Like, hey, not stern, but like, hey, seriously, I meant it when I said keep it down. It is almost midnight. Like, can we just, you don't want to have to go down too many times. We mostly just let them go. But then it was like, I mean, I'm really tired now. Like, I need to go to bed. Yeah. And so it was a one time, only one. But the big thing was there was a Hubba Bubba incident. Okay. There was some. Did you know that Hubba Bubba bought bubble tape?
No.
Yeah. So Hubba Bubba has bubble tape, and there must have been a stash of it, and it was taken and eaten, and then it got on the pillows and the pillowcases. A gum-ridden pillowcase is really a troubling moment in a sleepover party. And so we had to really work our way through that. But I just got more excited to see that there was this. I didn't realize that Hubba Bubba was back and like really popular with the kids. So I'm really excited. So I've been kind of sharing with my daughter. We got some more of it to have around the house, and I'm kind of hooked. I'm kind of bad. I think I'm on the Hubba Bubba.
All right, getting into the bubblegum game. Yeah. What's worse to have?
Bubblegum game now. I'm liking it.
Yeah, you used to be a flag guy. Now you're a bubblegum connoisseur.
Yeah.
Is what you are.
Well,
What's worse, to have the basement full of 7-year-olds in the Hubba Bubba, or to have like a basement full of raccoons on meth? Like, that's what you got to ask yourself. Flip a coin right there, my friend.
Yeah, that's a close one. I would have taken the meth raccoon Chewy over my kids on Sunday, though. The next
Oh
day.
yeah, the hangover.
Survive
after
Advanced Sunday, as it's forever going to be known, which was just I tried every trick in the book. I tried food as in terms of treats. I tried snacks. I tried getting them out of the house. We went to I took them to the children's museum. We went to grandma's house. I was like, there's got to be some place where it just isn't awful, and there really wasn't.
Yeah.
There was really no escaping it. It was just following us everywhere we went. So we just it was a countdown to bedtime kind of day, and we just made our way there and eventually got them to sleep, and then they were better on Monday. But Sunday was a rough one. I would have taken Chewy over them on Sunday for sure.
And then you've got to lock it in for Mother's Day now. Are they old enough that they kind of have got that covered, or do you still have to throw in the solid assist on Mother's Day?
No, I pretty much have to do it, but that's
Oof.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they have idea. They're like cool with the ideas, and we get them to go along with it. But yeah, it's okay though. We got some good stuff. I think we're in a good place with Mother's Day.
What I like about our Mother's Day is my wife's birthday is the week before, and we all went so hard on the birthday that we're like, nah, that counts for both.
We already did it.
Points are on the board.
Yeah, we're good. Points are on the board.
It counts. It's good.
You're good. You're good. Oh man, love it. All right, next week we will have Charlie and I are going to get together on Monday, I think, and we're going to do some rookie projections for you. Talk a little about the rookies, talk a little bit more meeting them, which I will do tomorrow morning. And Wednesday, schedule release. And there's going to be, we'll know on Tuesday morning if the Bengals are going to Madrid. When they announce that early, but Wednesday at 8 p.m. is when the actual full schedule release will come out. We will be live on the YouTube channel at 9 o'clock. So come on over and we'll be breaking all that down. Myself, Mark, Jay, I think Mo's going to pop by. So we'll be just kicking it over here and should be a good time. So looking forward to that. All that's coming your way next week. So keep it locked and get the notifications and all the things that are fun. And take care of your raccoons, people. Okay, let's try to keep them clean. All right, we don't need if you got your raccoon, just maybe something simpler. Maybe just start them with I guess gummies or something. Just, maybe some of the THC seltzers. Maybe start there. Don't go directly to crack with your raccoons. Lesson of the week.
Good raccoon advice.
Good raccoon advice. All right, have a good one, everybody. See you.